All right, welcome back to another episode of the Strike Zone to End Zone podcast featuring the one and only Trey, Ballard, and our returning, I guess now he's the permanent co-host guest, Matthew Travaglione in town.
No guest no
he's
more.
the one he live here now. Yeah, bro. He's in front of the camera. I'm back to being behind the camera. I'm your producer, Wes. 4 weeks, you guys have making some pretty big waves on the YouTube world. So congratulations on that, Matt. Don't get your head too big because once I told him what his SEO was,
way past that.
Yeah. Anyway,
no.
So again, you don't need me talking. There's a lot that's been going on between the Stanley Cup Finals, Stanley Cup's over, and everything. But Trey,
my prediction was wrong. I picked the Oilers in 7 and the Panthers 1 and 6. So. That is what it is. I mean, we don't really have to rehash that. That was what it was. The results are there. You can't really.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they say about Connor's legacy now.
Yeah, that's valid.
2 years in a row down. They brought in some new pieces from last year, and I mean, I still think he's the best in the world between him and Matthews, but I don't know, man. To lose to the same team 2 years in a row has got to be a tough pill to swallow.
Especially last year going down 3-0 and then forcing the game 7 and losing, and this year losing even less games.
Right.
Also, I was going to tell you, I did find something about
the trade stuff.
Yes. Yeah. For NBA.
So I saw what's his name? Bane?
Yeah. Well, so that happened, but also, so it says NBA teams can make trades in the current league year as soon as their season ends, provided they are legal and pending free agents aren't being traded. Some trades have to wait to go official into the new league year, but can be agreed to now. And the reason is why, because the salaries change. So as long as the salary that you're going to be signing them to, or what that, like, cause say you have to trade a guy that signs an extension that's going to be different than what his previous salary was, obviously.
Yeah.
It won't go into effect until the new league year. So it's the same thing as hockey. You can make the trades anytime.
Maybe it's just a lot really of people rare.
Wait. Yeah. A lot of people will just wait because you got so many other moving parts after that.
And they got
and their contracts are way crazy.
Too. Yeah. I mean, what they gave up for him, he got 3 first-round picks?
Yeah, 3 first-rounders, KCP and Cole Anthony. I mean, it was a haul, but at the same time, actually, no, it was 4. Because you have, I remember, because the back 2 are 2028 and 2030, in which case, one of those is the kid going into his freshman year.
Yeah.
So, but the first-round pick thing, for me, it kind of just depends, because it, like, and Danny Ainge did this. He fucked this up for everybody. Whenever he did the Garnett and them trade to the Nets, because you think when you hoard all these picks, it's supposed to work out for you, but there's no guarantee because you don't know where these.
It's not, but it's also like teams that need to ask. Like for example, like the Suns. Like the Suns would jump all over that just to get their picks back because they gave up so much stuff for it.
So many, and then Orlando had a surplus to give out.
Yeah,
and for me personally, I'm one of those guys that's just like, if you have all these picks and you're just letting them sit there collecting dust, waiting on these teams that you think are going to be bad in 5 years, just go get
unless it's protected. Unless it's like it's a protected top 10. Like even this year, I mean, obviously Flag's coming up, and I like that. What's his name? Ace Bailey.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna be solid.
Yeah,
he's gonna be real good.
Declining workouts though because he's probably got a assured pick.
Probably. I mean, I don't think he'll go any higher than 4.
I don't think so either.
He's solid.
I fuck.
But and I think Magic are going to be sneaky good. I mean, I think Paolo is a stud.
Open, bro.
I think Paolo Banchero is a stud, man. He's been in Orlando.
In the league.
Sure.
Easy.
Yeah. He was a beast on the Olympic team. Not the last one,
the
but
one that they did the World Cup with.
Yeah. He's solid, man.
Reeves, all those guys.
Even Coach K was like, dude, he's a dog. Like
he's still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's even went further than what I thought.
Yeah, and he's getting well. I mean, I think he'll be coming into his 4th year, 5th year. I think he was 2020 first round pick. Because he was number 1 overall, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. It was 2022.
Okay, so
remember they lost to Carolina, that lost to Kansas.
Right.
Remember, so that was Coach K. He was Coach K's last on that team.
So he'll be coming into his 4th year, I believe. But yeah, I think, and I forgot that white guy they have over there that's solid too. I mean, Orlando is going to be.
Oh, Franz Wagner.
Yeah, he's nice.
Him, brother Mo.
His brother's good too.
To Michigan.
Yeah,
so they got Jalen Suggs.
I think they're going to be good. I mean, Cole Anthony didn't really.
I think
he was a good college player, but
I think he moves the needle. A lot of people don't. I think Desmond Bane moves that
needle.
No, I'm
not
a big Bane fan. I will say I don't personally. It's not that I don't think he's good. It's another one of those. I just don't like him. Like if he, I just don't like you.
Yeah.
I think you're a good player. I just think you're corny. You know, I would just
sure.
like, I just don't fuck with you.
I mean,
but I think you're a good basketball player. I definitely think you move the needle for the Magic.
I think it's a good move for them. I still think they're young. I mean, because he's not an old guy either.
Yeah, no.
So they'll keep building around it and stuff. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely gonna be interesting to see. And yeah, the East is definitely wide open next year, especially with
JT hurt.
Yeah,
the Pacers were the ones that made the finals. Don't know. I mean, the Knicks obviously are running back, but they have a new coach. Yeah. So you got the Cavs, who are unhealthy, and then you never know. You can't.
From what I've been reading, just because all I do is basically read about the Knicks and stuff, they're trying to pair, what's his name? Jared Jackson Jr. They want to move him and pair him with Cat, which would be a nice duo. If they decide to stick with Cat and don't do it.
I think they should. I give
it one more year. Run it back. Keep
definitely.
I think the only thing that they might move, if they have to, is I think they might move on from Mikal Bridges to get some more picks back and get a... Because he can score, but he's not... And that's not his fault, but I mean, his productivity wasn't worth all that stuff. And I like him. I thought he was good in Phoenix. I mean, he can...
I fuck with Mikal. And then whenever he got traded to the Nets, he showed that he can be a plus scorer. He doesn't need to be the go-to guy by any means, but he can be a guy that can give you...
I think he averaged like 22 that year or something like that. Like he can play when he's the number one option. Yeah. You just get the ultimate green light. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Because apparently, like in the whole Kevin Durant thing too, Phoenix is asking back for a haul, and they're like, "Dude, he's gets $60 million. He's going to be 37."
And you've already said that he can't be here next year. Like you were the ones, you don't have any leverage here.
Yeah, they already shot themselves in the foot.
And that's why everybody was like, Bane went for this, so Luka, like all these packages that people try to, and I'm like, you got to understand, like every team situation is a little bit different,
right?
Simply because certain teams and certain players have more leverage than others, as well as the fact that certain teams see a guy and they're like, I will give up this for this, for him. And this other team might not do that, or they might give up more. You never know.
And he's injury prone before all this. Right. I mean, obviously an Achilles, that's just like a fluke thing that happens. But even before that, he was always missing like 15 games. And now he's 37.
He had the lower leg stuff. And all that sort of stuff.
And now he's 37. So how can you really be asking? I mean, I get they want picks and stuff, but I think
you can't get a whole lot.
Yeah, I think all the GMs and owners are on the phone with each other like, yo, let's all just hold down
we're
the
not going to sit here
and
blow the bank trying to get him whenever we know that they cannot have him back in that locker room next year. And same could be said for Bradley Beal potentially, even though he has a no trade clause.
I don't know how he got. I mean, he was a top 10 scorer in the league for years, but I mean,
30 in Washington.
Yeah, but
in which case he should have just stayed. I know they weren't winning, but given where you are now and what people expected of you being paired with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, bro, you should have just stayed because you knew you weren't going to be that same type of player that they needed. And he didn't. I don't think he needed to be that. He didn't need to. He's not the type of player to play a Chris Bosh role or Kevin Love role. You know what I mean? Like typically a big man, it's a lot easier to do that because you can affect the game in so many other ways. Bradley Beal wasn't always he was a good defender, but he was never like an all-world, all-NBA defender.
No, he wasn't like shutting down your perimeter.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just like he's not the type of player. His game doesn't translate to taking that third role. In my eyes.
It doesn't, but at this point in his career, because again, I don't think he's that old of a dude. I think he's like 32, 33. Like he can still 30. Play. And he had injuries last year and the last 2 years. Yeah. But I mean, if I'm him, and I get it, there's like ego that goes into it too from being the number one option. But Devin Booker's the star of the team. Right. Kevin Durant, again, you just insert him and he'll get you 25.
Yep. Sure.
And if I'm him, I'm like, dude, this is perfect. I can just kind of get the scraps and still put up 20, 22. It's not like his money's not guaranteed.
And again, with the no trade clause too. So he's, I mean, that's true. That's like it's just hard for me to watch him because I was a fan of his when he was in high school. So I just always, seeing where he went to when he was at Florida and then coming into the league and like going to a team with John Wall when John Wall was the number one guy.
I used to love John Wall.
Building himself. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so building himself into what he became, it just was so hard to see him just take that back seat in Phoenix and
coming out doing the Dougie and everything his first game.
That shit was lit, bro. John Wall was going crazy.
John Wall was hilarious.
Yeah, John Wall was going crazy.
I like that video of.
Were you saying he was like teach me how to Dougie?
Yeah, I think it was his first game ever for his entrance. You can YouTube it and look it up, and he literally.
I'm about to.
Because he was known for doing it at Kentucky,
and he came out and did the Dougie, and it was the funniest thing ever. Like it busted out his cat daddy.
It would have been a lot cooler if he did
NBA,
Soldier Boy.
Got games, right? We got Oklahoma City trying to close it out in Indiana tonight. Should tip off here in the next couple minutes or so. I said Oklahoma City in 7. Seems like they're probably just going to end it tonight, but I wouldn't be mad at the game 7. And a lot of pressure that goes into that one, I would think. Tyrese is playing tonight, even though with the calf strain. So
I think they got to win tonight. I think the last thing they want is all that pressure on them
going
in Game
back
7.
home. Yeah,
I mean,
and you never know what can happen in the Game 7
because that I don't want to say Indiana's playing with a house of money, but at the same time, they weren't expected to get this far. I mean,
you
obviously,
got the team that was number one in the league.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they think for themselves we belong here and all that, but everyone's gonna be like, dude, you've exceeded all expectations this year. If you can, it'd be so weird if they won too. That might be the strangest team to ever win a world championship.
Who, the Pacers?
Yeah.
Just I mean, isn't that weird? Because they've been around for so long, they haven't won yet. I just think they're is it just
but what I'm saying is compared to the competition this year and how deep the West was and everything, and even compared to, because they had some great teams in the 90s and then that early 2000s team that had the Malice and the Palace, all those teams were Reggie's teams were
good.
Reggie could have got one or two if Jordan didn't exist.
He still says to this day he thinks that year the Malice of the Palace was their best chance of actually winning it.
Yeah,
because obviously you run into Shaq and Kobe at any point during
and then he ran into Jordan and the Knicks in the 90s and stuff.
Early in the 90s.
So I mean, he just had a tough road.
Yeah, but once you got to that point, that was a because man, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, Jermaine, they had a squad. Jamal Tins, looking back at it, bro, they had a fucking squad. They had a squad.
They were stacked.
They had a squad. So yeah, man, we'll be tuning in tonight for that. I do want to shout out the Yankees.
Mark Jackson on that team too? Or no, that was
later on. Yeah, or that was earlier before that. I do want to shout out the Yankees though for snapping their losing streak.
Yeah, that was nice.
Against the Angels.
Yes,
I guess obviously not the Rockies.
What was our losing? How many games on the losing streak?
We had lost 5 in a row.
3 of them to the Sox, I believe.
Yeah, we got swept by the Sox.
It's not good.
Lost the first 2 to the Angels. So
we
had lost 5 in a row, and then we also hadn't scored a run in 30 innings.
Yeah,
that's a kick in the dick.
But I like that we have Chaz back now. They're Jazz. I like that.
Damn, I should have worn my jersey. I forgot I got the World Series.
I like that we got Stanton back finally. It's getting kind of old. Him always missing the beginning of the season and shit. But I mean,
he'll still bring up.
He would have won the World Series MVP last year.
I was about to say I will always welcome Giancarlo back.
You can never say he didn't show up in big moments when he was. I think he had 4 home runs in the World Series, something like that. And even in the ALCS, he was hitting.
He earned his keep.
He was almost like, I dare you to throw me the ball. Just throw it.
Literally, bro. So I'm hyped about that. We obviously got All-Star game next month and stuff here in the next couple weeks.
I forget what podcast I was watching. It was some comedian and he was talking about, I think it was Trevor Lawrence not Trevor Lawrence, Trevor.
Oh, Trevor Wallace?
Yeah. The little skinny kid.
I know who you're talking about.
I think it was him, but I could be wrong. But one of these comedians, podcasters was talking about how they went to high school with Giancarlo Stanton and they're like, dude, he could have gone pro in football and basketball because he's 6'7", he's a big guy.
He's right there with Judge.
Yeah, Judge is 6'9", I think. He's 6'8". He's a big guy too.
He's 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, and he was a good basketball player too.
I was gonna say he was all state in basketball.
But they were like he could pump the ball 70 yards.
Yeah,
they're like he was dunking almost from the free throw line, and then because they were like he was that big in high school, and they said. Because you hit with aluminum bats. They're like, dude, he was hitting people's fucking windshields, from he was crushing the ball. It wasn't like
I can only imagine playing short or third. He hits it.
He's Nobo.
Screamer.
Dude, I would be like one of the kids in bench warmers and just turning around and hovering.
You just got to cover up.
I'd be dressed like a catcher and shortstop.
Honestly, I would have 2 cups in.
Seriously,
maybe 3.
It's like, who are you playing? Man, my ankle hurts today. I'm just gonna have to sit this one out, guys.
Literally, you see him on next week's schedule. You're just like, do we really have to go do that?
You even see him against how big he is compared to the guys at the majors, and they're just like,
you look at him next to Volpe, bro. Look at him next to Volpe, fucking.
They were talking even about possibly moving him for some stuff, but I'm like,
Volpe? I don't think they should. I think we should continue.
He's young. This is his second year.
Literally.
I mean, he's a shortstop. It's so hard to be the next. Not that he's the last shortstop since Jeter, but to try to fill those shoes and stuff.
That sort of comparison.
Being from New York, it's a lot to live up to. But
it's like trying to be the new Batman. How do you follow up?
Yeah. You just have to be your own Batman.
Yeah,
you don't need to be like anyone else. You just need to be your own type of person and do your own thing.
Did you Jared Leto trying to follow up Heath Ledger? Fuck you. Would you really want to be that guy? I'm just trying to say, trying to follow up Jeter on the Yankees to be a shortstop. That's pretty.
Kalen DeBoer trying to follow Nick Saban. You know what I mean? I'm a Kalen DeBoer. I'm just saying, it's just one of those things. What comes with that, filling those shoes.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's just always going to be hard.
Yeah, like I said, granted, it was It was almost 10 year Jeters. Last year was 2015, I think. Mm-hmm. So they've gone through some guys. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
I mean, we've had multiple. We've had
they've got to make some moves, though. I mean, they're talking about dropping DJ down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just got, I don't know. They got a lot to figure out, but they're still.
Again, we're still
in first place.
In the AL East, so you can't really be too upset at what's going on. Obviously, you hit a little. There's always now only up 2 games on the Rays and 3 on the Jays, but you still can't come summertime, it's going to be a little bit of a lull.
Yeah,
just because it's so hard. It's just the season is so long that it's really, really hard to continue to stay, I guess, locked in a way. Obviously, you're a pro, so you should.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to say this because the same thing happened last year. Looking at the standings now, and we are currently tied with the Houston Astros. And that is a team that it doesn't matter who the manager is, it doesn't matter who their star is. I mean, as long as they had kept one of Altuve, Bregman, or even Correa to a certain extent. Now you obviously got Alvarez, but they are just always seem to be.
I don't know what they're doing over there.
They always seem to be. It's just some devil magic. I don't know what it is, but they always just seem to fucking be there.
Like when you look at those teams from when they first started winning. Because, like, when they first started winning, it's kind of like, I'll compare it to, like, the Pacers now. You're like, all right, like, these guys are good, but, like, you don't know. But then, like, down the line, they go and run 2-3 more off. You're like, oh, damn, that team is stacked.
Yeah, you're like, what in the heck is going on? So, no, I just wanted to look at that and make that note because, again, obviously, we have a lot.
Well, kind of like same thing I was just reading about the Thunder. They were like, if they win, because what'd you say? They were a 68-win team.
Yeah.
MVP. But they were like, is this team going to be considered an all-time great team? And they were like, you can't really say it now because he's really the only stud on it.
Yeah.
But if they go and run off and win 3 in the next, like, 6 years, and you'd be like, oh, man, they had Chet, they had Jalen Williams, they had... So it's just... I guess you got to give it more time, but...
Definitely.
I expect them to win a close game. I think they'll win by 9, 10.
Right now, they just scored.
Nail-biter already.
Hard to find, so...
Yeah, I mean, it should be an interesting game.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like I said, I don't really mind the Thunder. I mean, I really wouldn't care who won, obviously, like I said from the get-go. But
I just want Sam Presti to get it.
Yeah, he deserves.
He's put together so many teams.
A hell of a team, hell of a team.
And even the coaches he's brought in there, he had Billy Donovan for a minute. Like, he's literally it's just like, you got to play, like, you got to perform.
I mean, he'll build the roster for you, but you got to.
Even the teams that, like, after KD left and it was Westbrook, he still put, like, nice pieces on Westbrook. Like, Steven Adams was huge to have there.
And Paul George.
Yeah, and older Carmelo, but Carmelo still played pretty well. I mean, he knows what he's doing, and just accruing all those picks, like you said, it's really paid off.
Yeah, you just got to be able to save it for, that right piece that you need. So, no, definitely.
I hope they get it done just so we can stop talking about the narrative that he hasn't won one in Thunder, all this, and blah, blah, blah. But I really, really would not. Just because being a Knicks fan forever, I just really don't want to see the Pacers win.
Going back to baseball, did you see Joe Torre to serve in a special role on Aaron Boone's
he's coaching the AL in the All-Star game.
Yeah, there's some pulling up some information that you mentioned it. And let's see, first All-Star ballots update, Judge.
He's gonna win MVP again if he keeps it like this.
dominating NL.
Does he have like 26 already? 27? Like, so he's on pace to over 50 again. He's the second youngest. So right now it looks like the American League first base, you got Goldschmidt. He's got the most votes right now. You got Guerrero Jr., Aranda, then Torkelson and Walker. Or those are all for the ballots being counted. That's for highest All-Star. What's Judge at? So right now, American League, that's just for first base. Oh, I was about to say, if it's position by position, that makes sense. Second base, Judge. I was about to say, Aaron Judge should be the leader of everything. Yeah, dude, right? I mean, come on, what are we talking about? All right, so American for first base, Goldschmidt from the Yankees. Second base, Torres, Tigers. Wait, Gleyber? Fuck yeah. Yeah, Gleyber. Let's go, baby. He's at 535,000. Yeah. Shout out to Gleyber, the guy man. Right behind him is Jackson Holiday at 449,000. So shout out to Gleyber, man. Yeah, and then shortstop, you got Jacob Wilson is at the lead from the Athletics, and Bobby Witt is right behind him. Let's see what else we got. Third base, we got Ramirez, the Guardians, then Brigham from the Red Sox. No Yankees on there. Judge outfield 1.5 million votes. Yeah, the guy
right below him is Riley Green from the Tigers at 675,000.
Tigers are balling.
I haven't closed.
Cody Bellinger's at number 6 at 416,000.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Shout out to Cody,
and then
man.
you got Austin Wells as catcher.
Let's go,
5.
baby.
Yeah, he's So Cal Raleigh from the Mariners. He's got 1 million. Number 5 is Austin Wells at 190,000.
Well, that's because Cal's got 27 homers. He's leading the league in homers, and as a catcher, that's fucking insane.
Ben Rice is second in the lead for
shout out to the young Bulls, man. God damn, what y'all talking about?
You have Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles. He's number 1 for designated hitter, but Ben Rice is second, right behind him.
Shout out to the young Bulls.
What's that young kid's name on the Orioles that's supposed to be like the next Mickey Mantle?
Jackson.
That's him, yeah.
He's Matt Holliday. His other son that's going into his senior year is supposed to be picking.
Damn.
Oh. He's got one. I think he got one more under.
Some good genetics.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So look, it was a good series, obviously not winning it, but getting off the schneid and showing some fight and not just laying down and letting Angels keep it. Good to see. Ultimately, though, bro, it's still June. We got a lot of baseball left, so I'm not really worried.
Angels can't catch a break, man.
Mike Trout came back.
Yeah, but again, I feel bad for Mike Trout. I talked about, I don't want to say a waste.
He reminds me like Matt.
Kind of, yeah. Like they were talking, like the Yankees were talking about bringing him in last summer just for like a DH or something like that. But his salary is just,
it doesn't.
It's nuts, yeah. But like he's another. I mean, baseball's I think the one sport. Well, I mean, like Barry Bonds, for example, you consider is the greatest. It's never because baseball's a numbers game. It's not really a rings game. You're not playing. You can't control.
You can't control that.
Like it's not basketball. It's not hockey where you're playing both sides.
Because honestly, what Jeter, I will say, like to your point, a lot of arguments with Jeter, like rings are one of the last things that people will bring up in terms of just because with baseball that's so different.
Because it's everything stats. It's all baseball is stats.
Yeah.
Where again, even football too, you're not gonna knock Randy Moss for not winning a Super Bowl. Like he can only do. It always comes down to the quarterback. Like that's the whole reason. I mean, it goes without saying, but that's the whole reason why like they consider Brady the GOAT is because he's got 7. He's not. Aaron Rodgers is more talented. Patrick Mahomes probably more talented.
Yeah, you're not gonna say he's not because he is. He's more. They are definitely more talented when it comes to just going out there and throwing
better
the football.
Arms, more mobile. But Brady just was smarter and dedicated and. But as far as like actually like physical talent, like you can name Dan Marino was probably like
literally you can name a lot of other quarterbacks.
John Elway was a hell of an athlete before he got older. Like he used to be able to run.
Yeah, that's not even a debate. You can name so many more quarterbacks that are just more physically gifted.
Yeah,
but again, he went out and said it on Fox before the week of Super Bowl. He's like, literally, if I came out and I looked at the alignment of the defense and I didn't like what we were in, I didn't like, he said. All this sort of stuff that like made me as great as I was literally the preparation and then going into it knowing what the fuck was going on. Yeah, he's like, I knew your defense better than you did because I had to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he said I had to. I had no choice.
Yeah, he talked about the one against the Chiefs. He was like, because him and Tyrann Mathieu got into it and he was like, I knew what the fuck you're doing. Yeah. Like you're not surprising me.
Yep. That was the one that he was talking about. He was like, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah. Because that team was going on. That would have been probably an all-time great team if they would have won that too. That team was scary because they were going for back-to-back that year, I think.
That was.
Or was it? Or would have been 2 out of 3?
Because it would have been back-to-back. Remember, because they lost Mahomes' first year as a starter. The Patriots won, but then the next year they came back and then the next year the Chiefs came back and won it. Right. And then that very next year they would have went back-to-back. Right. Because remember the next year was the Bengals beating the Chiefs.
Right. And that's when the Rams
won. That was why. Yeah, that was why. Which again, it's so crazy. Every AFC game, pretty much.
Have they all been at home?
I'm pretty sure they've all went through Arrowhead.
That's nuts. No. They had to go to Baltimore that one year.
Yeah. Okay. That was the first one that did.
Yeah. They had to go to Baltimore.
That was the first one.
That's when Justin Tucker was trying to set up his tee and Travis Kelce was like throwing it away and stuff.
Yeah. So that was the first one that didn't go through Arrowhead.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, shit. That was crazy. That was nuts.
I'm just excited for this NBA offseason because apparently there's a lot of trades pending.
It's about to get crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of movement, a lot of moving parts. But with that said, man, look, we got to get out of here and we got to go watch the game, man. Shit.
Yeah.
We got to, where was it?
Take a piss. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't know how to turn this thing off.
I don't either. We'll just clap.
Good stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, my homie.
We're done.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the game. I just don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah, we had no clue how to do that. So I was just like, shit, I'll just clap and hopefully Wes knows.
Yeah, no, I got